our economy and on really part of our lifestyle that we want to live up here in Alaska. It comes down to, and the challenge here, of course, is we want to allow the science, the biologists calling the shots, to be able to do their job without the politics being played in our allocation issues. We want to make sure that it's a sustainable industry, and that's where the challenge is. You know, when they tell us and show us the numbers that back up the decisions that they're making, we can't argue it on the politics, even on the economics of it. We have to make sure that we're allowing the biology to dictate the decisions that are being made. So it's a tough challenge.
All right, 458 Talk over here. Good evening.
Hello, Governor.
Hello there.
My question has to do with long-term gas tax predictability. Here in Alaska, I think, at least in the past here, the majority of Alaskans have been kind of negative in their feelings toward big oil. You know, they don't like paying high gasoline prices, and oil is a gooey, sticky substance. And I don't feel that way. I think the oil companies are good. You know, they're free enterprise organizations owned by millions of people, working hard to bring energy to Alaska, and to the world. But
question, come on.
Okay. Well, the thing is that the representatives tend to have to honor the majority will of the people. And so what I'm wondering is, on the long-term gas tax predictability, I don't see any movement by the government to enter into negotiations with the oil companies, and I'm wondering if the people who don't hate the oil companies roll up their sleeves and write letters and tell their legislators that they don't hate the oil companies and we really need a gas line. Do you think that would encourage the government officials and powers that be to enter into some negotiations with the oil companies on long-term gas tax predictability?
And you're talking about the certainty then that the oil companies are looking for regarding gas taxes, making sure that they know what they can count on when the state takes its share. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, and not necessarily a fixed tax level, but something that's predictable, whether there's an escalator clause or whatever, something they can count on so they can make a 30-year plan.
Yeah, well, and that is reasonable. What our administration was not willing to do was what the prior administration wanted to do, and that was lock up the tax rate virtually in perpetuity, so that the state of Alaska, with the highs and the lows, it would be the residents, the state, that got the raw end of the deal, while the oil companies got to see the certainty. Now, we're more than willing to have a shorter term contract, if you will, for the certainty, 10, 15 years. That's reasonable, and we are discussing that with industry players, wanting to know what it is that they need in order to make the gas line work. Short-term certainty, not for 35, 45 years or in perpetuity as they had desired. They were shooting for the stars with an idea like that. But a more reasonable time frame, we're more than willing to offer that.
All right. Thank you very much. We move forward. 458 Talk. Good evening. You're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon, Michael. Good afternoon, Governor.
How are you?
Very well. Sarah Merrick Pierce, good to hear you on the radio.
Thank you.
I'd like to hope that you've taken a close look at the letter the Alaska Gas Line Port Authority sent you detailing our concerns about the bullet line. First is the economy of scale. Obviously, if you've got a bullet line, you don't have economy of scale, and that doesn't make for low-cost energy for Alaskans. And also is there a real concern about whether that project would take enough gas from the All-Alaska Gas Line that it could potentially jeopardize that voter-mandated project and all of the benefits that would incur to Alaskans. My specific question for you, Governor, is about the 2010 AGEA open season. Mm-hmm. Now, just as a way of a little quick background, in the interior, we're overpaying by hundreds of millions of dollars a year for our energy, for both energy to heat our homes and buy electricity. And to make matters worse, we have terrible air quality up here in the interior in the wintertime because our energy sources are dirty. They're wood, coal, and oil. And to be ready for the AGEA 2010 open season, we need funding to do a gas distribution network. We're not like Anchorage where you've got an established distribution network. We have to essentially build an entire network from scratch. And to be ready for the open season, we need to know what that infrastructure is going to cost, how many homes we can get gas to, and how much gas that we can purchase to make binding commitments at the open season. And my big concern, Governor, is we haven't gotten any help at all from the state of Alaska on this, and this is critical. I mean, we're literally overpaying by hundreds of millions of dollars a year. For only a handful of millions of dollars, we can figure out what our distribution network is going to look like. So my question, Governor, is can we get any help from the administration to help us be ready for the AGEA 2010 open season in Fairbanks?
Well, absolutely, and I believe that your hometown boy, Joe Baylash, who's one of our special assistants on the oil and gas issue, has really tried to get out there in Fairbanks especially to explain the assistance that the state is providing, though, to make sure that ANGDA and AGPA and all the different entities understand that we need to do different alternative analysis with all the different ideas that are out there on how we can have a successful open season in summer of 2010, and recognizing, as Joe Baylash has expressed many times, that our state and our nation can't afford to wait for the capacity of renewable fuel sources that this new Obama administration insists will be the savior and meet all of our energy challenges. We can't wait for that to be large enough to meet the growing energy demands that we have in Fairbanks and throughout South Central Alaska and throughout our nation. We cannot delay the progress on the Alaska Natural Gas Pipeline. It's going to lead to less available natural gas for our state and for our nation, which is going to mean higher prices, more demand, higher greenhouse gas concentrations, all those things that are the antithesis of the intent of AGEA. We have to have a successful open season. I believe that we are providing that assistance that ANGDA and the other entities are desiring to allow for that success. And I'm not sure who it is that asked the question. I don't know who the caller is, but if they want more specific information and if they want to sit down with me, with Joe Baylash, with Tom and Marty, the gas line team, Harry Noah, the in-state coordinator of the line, happy to do that.
Okay.
Well, and it's Merrick Pierce with the Alaska Gas Line Port Authority on the line.
Okay.
So
thanks.
I think that this would be beneficial because I think this is a big issue, and it would be nice to know how they're helping as far as infrastructure goes, in helping to build out that, because we have nothing here basically other than what Fairbanks Natural Gas has put in the downtown core area. We have nothing else available to us, and if gas is really coming, we need to start thinking about that, because otherwise any bid in the open season will be worthless because we have no way to pass it. So is it really going to be a true open bid? I mean, is it really going to be a true bid?
And really, we're to a point, Governor, and Michael's exactly correct. We don't need more discussions with people in the administration. We just need funding. We've got engineers that are ready to go to work that will actually design the infrastructure for us so we can be ready for the open season. So it's really just about funding at this point.
And, Merrick, have you had opportunity to have the meetings with Harry Noah, the in-state coordinator?
We've had good meetings with Tom Irwin. He's been our point source of contact. So, and Joe Baylash, he, of course, being from the interior, he knows the issues up here. So we'll follow up with Joe on this.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Keep us informed of what's going on with that. We move forward.